Okay, this is my 1995 C-Duo XP, putting it back together hopefully for the last time here. Last summer, noticed the jet ski kept filling up with water down here and then getting up into the drive shaft and over by the starter, and would slowly keep filling overnight. And if you can't figure out, because on mine I got a step bar and checking the drain plug, making sure all the fittings and everything here were dry, and they were. What it came down to is the tune pipe. On here you have a welded in plug from the factory, but on the inside of it here, one of the plugs was rotted out and leaking, so I actually had it repaired, and then it fixed the leak. Now the other problem I've been running into is putting it back together without vibrations and causing it to get rebuilt and become a bigger hassle. So what I've done, and hopefully this will fix it once and for all from leaking and then vibrating loose again, and breaking these stud bolts off. And then what I ran into too, if things don't get tight, the bolts were stripping the threads here or over here, and then you got bolts. So what I did was it took M8 1.25 bolts at the hardware store and took my just took a cutter and then cut this off. That way if I need to service it again, rather than taking the full bolt, it's just much easier to slap that in place and then put your clamp back on the front. So to secure it, I tried using Loctite, nylon knock nuts, and my XP still kept leaking over here, getting water loose, or the bolt, believe it or not, come back out. So this time, this is the best product I use, as a thread locker. This is a gel. So with other thread lockers, I would put it in there, it'd be a mess on the bolts. But if I actually turn this one, it's much easier to use if I'm turning it the right way. And I'm not. But you get the point. But this one's the thread locker gel. Much easier to use. I found it after going to Lowe's and AutoZone. Advanced Auto Parts finally had it. So the gel works great. And what I'm going to use to finally secure this is stage 8 locking nuts. So what this does is it's going to keep it in place once and for all. So what I'm going to do is put the nut on. Let's get it started here. So you put your nut on, and then in the bag, open it up. You're going to have these locking retainers, and then you set this, if it comes in the frame there, on it. So you're going to put, eventually, when it's together, these on here into place, and then secure it with this locking fastener, and then hopefully I don't have to worry too much about the thread lockers holding, and it's just going to be nice and snug. The only way I found these is I knew, of course, the bolt pattern is M8 1.25, and I went to Stage 8's website, and it says for a turbo kits they offered it, and then there's the bolt pattern I needed, and they fit. So that's how I'm going to put it together. I'll try and keep you guys posted if there's any questions or whatever, but that's the number. This is how I think it's going to work. At least I can get it apart if I need to and service it or re-snug it easier than, especially up front, trying to get this guy. That one's the tough one if you ever have to get to this to get it out to fix that leak. So that's where the stud and a simple nut's much easier going to be to service it rather than an entire bolt. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Bye.